What's going on? Welcome to another Handsome Beatdown. I am Beatdown Brown, and this is my man Handsome Mandela 2 of your Schwebel Room
Yes,
Mechanics. What's
yes,
going on, brother?
sir. Hey, man, just ready to get him tune-ups. You dig?
Dig indeed, man. You know, Schwebel Room, home of the Youngstown tune-up, because you know we got that bomb content.
That's
Eh,
right. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. Hey, man. I know it's a little past tense, and a whole lot of other stuff is coming out that's like kind of throwing it up under the bus and burying it right now. But I knew we had to have our 2 cents and a little bit of insight into that whole little Joey Badass situation, which is kind of wild right now as it stands. It's
Bruh. It's yeah, first off, it like I said before, it was cute. It was real cute, you know what I'm saying? And
mm-hmm.
to me, it was sounding like a cry for attention.
Right,
And
right.
I don't have no beef or no qualms with Joey Badass. I think he's dope. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I'm thinking it's a cry for attention on some, hey, I'm not acting right now, so hey, pay attention to me. You know what I'm saying? And the replies that he did get was kind of like, yeah, okay, we got you, but we're gonna knock you right back under.
It's wild because, yeah, like you said, coming from out of we're not going to disrespect Joey by acting like dude can't rhyme. We're not going to disrespect him by acting like we don't know who he is because we do. You know what I'm
Right
saying?
on.
I definitely mess with the whole movement. Rest in peace, Capital Steez. You know what I'm saying? That whole movement they had going on was absolutely ridiculous. Like the fact that Homeboy is a boom bap purist with a love for the 90s and 2000s aesthetic and all like that, you know, keeping it
Right
that way.
on. Right on.
But this whole situation, we're going to address the Joey end of things first before we go into all the backlash because we literally had twice that we are about to just hurry up and jump on and go with this. And situations, you know, life be life, and situations popped up. And it's
That
like,
part.
oh man, can't even do it. And kind of swept it up under the rug. But first things first, like you said, the timing of it all. And the timing, and I'm all about competition in hip hop where Cat said that it was kind of trite or it was overplayed or whatever with the control verse like that. I understood it. I dug it. I thought it was fire. Cats until the full battle went down said the same thing about the Like That record. Oh, this cat overplaying his hand, or he just won another control verse moment or whatever. It's like, nah, he's throwing a gauntlet down. That one just happened to be an absolutely pointed gauntlet as compared to with control telling the whole game, step it up, let's do this. Who won it? In
Right.
the regards of let's get it better. In the case of Joey, with the timing where it seems contrived to me, it's like, okay, we all know where he works. He's on Raising Canaan. It's like this seems like 50 put a battery in your back.
I don't even think 50 necessarily put the battery in his back. It could have been more along the lines of, yo, I'm just gonna ride with Fifth on this one, you know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
of the sole fact that I'm on Raising Canaan.
I got you. So you're saying it wasn't direct, it was just a case of, oh, let's rock it.
Basically on some, my man jumped in it, so I'm a hold him down. Not that he need being held down, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna just hold it on to show that I'm loyal to him.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I'm thinking it
exactly.
is.
So with that being the case, it's just like, all right, this isn't even your natural response, which is going to get to another part of, like I said, look at the Joey angle only, where it looked kind of funny. Joey has in the past worked with Kendrick happily. He said, yo, I'm a fan of this cat. Everything he does, his artistry, everything is what the culture needs. It is what makes it great. And that was only like 6, 7 years ago. So they haven't had any bad interactions to be like, oh yeah, this is where it went wrong. Looking at like a Kendrick Drake situation, you know what I mean? Where it's like,
Right.
oh no, stuff went sideways. That's why it's like this. So that's where things get weird. But what makes it even more of like when the response called him out and called him a goofy, was it like 2 years, year and a half back? You was just on you was on his former label mate's album up there on that Herbert album on that Moonshot, repping with TDE up there running with Ab Soul. So it's just like, okay, where's this energy? Because it's not a case of just the shots of Kendrick. You said there's too much West Coast. We ain't gonna finish the rest of the statement. It's been well oversaid, so everybody knows what he said, quoting Jay-Z for
Right.
22 tubes. There's
Right.
been more excuses of, oh man, it's just a line. He's paying homage. Yeah, you can pay homage, but he went in on the fact of throwing shots all around at Kendrick, at the West Coast in general, and everything else, and basically talking about the ruler's back. And where, go ahead. I'm not going to step on you because you might have something. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you good. I mean, everything you said, I totally agree with. But we can also add that in with this bad timing, it might be not even just saying, "Oh well, I'm taking a shot at the West Coast." I'm trying to claim the crown for New York as well because the ruler's back.
Yeah.
I mean, that was Jay quoting Slick Rick.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? And like the one dude you put me on to him who was saying that New York only jump on stuff that's hot. So
Which
with
is,
that being said, bro, I mean, it kind of I'm not gonna say it shows, but
it's what's crazy about everything right now. Like you said, jumping on New York not having anything defined, laid out, or whatever. Here's also in Joey's situation right now where everything looks bad. Now, Joey's claiming the ruler's back. I'm here with the crown or whatever. And it's like, dog, not only don't you not have a body of work that shines like that, but even on top of that, New York doesn't have a unified, oh, this is who's running it, that's who's running it. It really hasn't been like that since Biggie, Nas, and Jay back in the day. And unofficially, you could say, you could throw DMX and Fifth into that category of cast that was running New York. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? During that era. Since that era, there hasn't been a definitive New York champion. They tried to give it to Dave East for a while, which is what Read My Soul said. Is like, yeah, they at one point they was trying to give it to Dave East, and it kind of didn't pan out or whatever. But the crazy part of all of this is like you're going against a coast that is always, for the most part, been quite unified, even if they don't necessarily agree with each other. When
yeah,
it comes time to deal with anybody outside, going to anybody from the coast, you definitely get jumped immediately, which is what takes us to section B of this one, which is the reverberations of going back to them. I will say one thing about before I go there is like you're claiming you're the ruler, you're the king of New York, and like that. And from these past, we'll go as far as the past 10 years. If you are not associated with Griselda, and you know that run right there, I'm kind of saying that's all a lie, man. And even taking these shots at the West Coast, it's like, okay, West Coast literally has had a 6-month run right now, and Cass is getting mad at it. But Atlanta was running everything
for
for how long?
years, for
It
years.
what I'm going to at least say darn near 2 decades. It was all about what Atlanta was doing, and everywhere else down south. You could bounce through. You could bounce through the different areas, but it was about what was coming out of Atlanta, what was coming out of New Orleans, whatever like that. And that was the end of the story. Nobody cared about anything else. Nobody was looking at anything else. And I didn't hear any shots and any like that popping off then. So this seems kind of contrived when, like I said, darn near 2 decades, and then we got the 15 years of Drake, and everybody was pretty quiet, except for a little short guy from out of the West. You know what I'm saying? You have some people that will, chime in as far as the Drake angle of things going on. Everybody pretty much left Atlanta alone. Everybody pretty much left the South alone because, everybody believed like Dre said, the South has something to say. So everybody was pretty much chilling.
And the
But
South is unified at that too. You know what I'm saying? They got their little issues and tips here and there, but for the most part, if you look at that old beef DVD when T.I. was beefing with Lil Flip, that segment, he said,
uh-huh.
"Yeah, we might have our issues, but the common goal is to put the South on top."
Yo, and the one thing we've always looked at, New York does not operate that way, and that's a problem. So once again, you can't say, like I said, everybody said, who's the best, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas? Okay, we have a consensus where everybody is looking and understanding the same thing. Hasn't been that way in forever. Everybody had, like I said, had reverence for X, had to go ahead and bow their head and take a knee to 50 because he was just an animal. It hasn't been that way. So you're speaking for all of New York, and right now, after all the backlash, New York has been noticeably silent. And it's like, okay, so now we go to the B section with the dog pile. Boy, oh boy, that homeboy catch it. I mean, you got stuff like little subtle stuff like chill out with the Jason Martin problems. You had, some underknown MCs coming up from the West, talking their thing and doing their thing. Then, oh boy, yeah, Daylyt up there, basically, little bro in them. He's up there like, I ain't even gonna go at you, but I'm gonna just let you know who I am, you know what I do. It was almost like the phone call from Taken. Like I got a
Right.
certain set of skills. I've displayed those certain set of skills in your area. Understand? I'm just letting you know. It could be like that, or you could go ahead and go on, homie. Just letting you know.
Word.
That was
Word.
wild. Check out that Daylyt joint. Then, oh, you had Ray Vaughn just lose his whole mind. Ray Vaughn just went in on him, but no lies were told in the joint. Like, between telling them, it's like, yo, the only badass we recognized was Boosie. Because, like I said, without the body of work, without being there like that, you, even under your namesake, you aren't the cat that people run to when it's even your namesake. It's like
Mm.
that's a wild thing to say. Then, like I mentioned before, how are you up there dissing the West Coast and talking all this trash, but you was running with Ab Soul, man? You a goofy. And like I said, once again, another thing that has to be recognized as a truthful statement. It was all peace a year and a half ago. You was cool out here. Then you had people, honestly, just like I said, unified with the coast, looking at a accomplished MC and producer, but a YouTuber like Curtis King up there throwing his shots in like, dog, you ain't even organized like that to go and make this run. And why did it have to be that? He's like he said, as a spectator, I enjoy the competition, but you're doing this like it's a rollout. You had no plan on how to put your music out. You just using the coast as your writing tablet. It's
And
like that's
that's
not the way to
that's
go.
that's that's sloppy, not strategic.
Extremely sloppy. And with all that said, and looking at that, that is a really, really nasty play. And it's just like, I understand we don't know when we're going to get a response back because everybody was calling out Kendrick at the beginning of the back and forth with Drake, like, yo, you on the clock. And Homeboy took his sweet old time, darn near 3 weeks, I think it was, to go ahead and start that assault. Don't know what Joey has up his sleeve. But what I could say outside of what he does or doesn't have up his sleeve, what's going on right now is What you did wasn't to play. What you did got you piled up on. And a lot more, I don't know in this situation. Is he really willing to put this all on his back? Was it just a poke to get New York to get active again? Because I can respect that too. But in the whole anger and jump out and vitriol end of it, you didn't really have to go at the coast. You could have literally just poked the NY to get active again, and you would have
That
looked
part.
less weird and would have had less backlash.
I mean, because let's just be honest. In all factualness, the
Mm-hmm.
last time that you can say, I'm not even gonna say New York, but the last time that like they had somebody who was actually running shit in New York was a rainbow-haired person who came up on the stand talking shit.
I got one worse for you than that. The last chart top of New Yorkers was out there. The last chart top of New Yorkers was Ice Spice, Cardi B. You know, people are talking about 504 and all that other stuff, but they
Mm-hmm.
didn't even have the impact of that. So that's your showing, dog? Nah, that's not the showing. That's not the showing. But the one thing I will say to say his vitriol towards everybody loving the West Coast right now and where he possibly has an issue and where his issue is playing out right now, something that made a little sense and made me kind of think. And like I said, still your body of work doesn't support it. But a lot of conversation went after Drake getting knocked out of the big three. And I think the big three is a moot point, but neither here nor there. People are still keeping Cole involved, and some people feel some kind of way about Cole being involved after Cole backing out. But people still got Cole involved. Well, then all of a sudden they started shoving Tyler
Why?
in. Where I will say musically, notice how I said this. Musically, I could give it that. He always does his thing. He always brings it. And he's at the top of the class all the time. And he has a rabid fan base. He's always consistent, and he's making it happen. So if you look at it for the reason that a Drake was in there, sales, fan base, and all that other stuff, and who better than a dude not only that sells, consistently makes stuff happen, sells merch, is involved in stuff that you'll never be involved in your life, and on top of that has his own festival. I mean, so from that aspect, I get it. But from the grand scheme of things, a whole lot of lyricists are going to be feeling some kind of way in this situation. And I think that's where a little bug or battery happened with him right there. It's because of that conversation that came up after Chromacopia. And where it's just like, oh, y'all just love it. Y'all loving the West too much. Y'all talk about Tyler. Y'all done passed every other cat rhyming.
But here's the thing with Tyler, though. He has always been in his own lane. He's never strayed from that shit. Just the fact that he happens to make good music is not his fault. If you feel
Dog.
that way about it, step your shit up. I mean, dude, let's go back to the Flower album when if it was a Flower album or Igor when that DJ Khaled shit dropped and he topped that and Khaled was in his feelings over that shit. Dude is in his lane making his own shit. And Khaled
Yep.
was in his feelings. Yo, I can't remember if it was Instagram or Twitter at the time, but somebody was like, yo, DJ Khaled's albums is like you get all the top brand designers to collab and the shit still look like trash.
Pretty much. And the Khaled era of stuff, once again, is one of those things that nobody, why were y'all not talking trash? I understand that's one of y'all native sons, but none of that sounded like New York to me. You know what I mean?
And hold up, no shade or just to Khaled because we love Khaled. He makes great music. No shade or diss to Khaled. But at the same time, this cat
I,
is making his own shit in his own lane. Killing it.
I give it that. What I'm saying with the whole Khaled era. I remember Khaled making Fat Joe beats back in the day on the MPC, and that stuff sounded like a student of Primo, a student of Pete Rock. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He hopped on the wave and was basically like, "Yo, what can we get that's going to be record charting stuff?" You
Mm-hmm.
gave up on, like I said, you gave up on the sound and was like, "What's going to get me plaques?" And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But then when you have people that are synonymous with keeping their sound, keeping it homogenous, stay on their thing. Like I said a couple shows back, I had to take a reality check. As much as some of my favorite MCs are from the East, I had to realize when it came to being a boom bap head, when it came to being a hip hop head, everybody that I'm really digging and stay with currently is all West Coasters or from somewhere else. Jid from Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
Freddie Gibbs from Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everybody else is pretty much either California or whatever else. When you look at all the dope hip hop producers, 80% of them are from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's Madlib, whether that's Alchemist, whether it's who else? I'm losing the back. Jake One. Whenever you're going into the bag out of it, I already said Madlib. What's my man from Muggs?
Yeah.
All these cats is coming out of the West Coast. DJ Fresh, who I'm loving, off the West Coast. Like all of these cats.
DJ Fresh
We
fucking stupid. DJ Fresh is
DJ
fucking stupid, son.
DJ Fresh is real stupid, man.
Oh, he's
Shut,
stupid as fuck, man. Shout out to DJ Fresh for real. That
but
motherfucker's stupid.
but Dahi, A plus, Soundwave, all them cats is associated with TDE. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Martin and all them cats is TDE affiliates.
Terrence
All
Martin's a
the
fucking beast too, son.
You know what I'm saying? All these cats that's up there like, yo, we got that real hip hop sound. We doing this. Hey, West Coast cats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shout out to Primo and everything else that's doing their thing. Shout out to Pharoah Monch as a producer. But then when you get into it, besides that hip hop sound, you got to go to Detroit. You looking at Denon, you looking at
Yeah.
everybody like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Black Milk, everybody else, they out of Detroit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's a small end of it, and there are, like I said, Griselda is holding it down for New York. So Griselda has their own producers, Derringer and everybody else over that way. And I feel bad. What V Don? V Don is hard. That's my boy. That's my boy Polo. That's my homeboy Polo. That's his people. V Don
Okay.
holding it down for New York. You know what I'm saying? But I said when K Slay passed, it was going to be hard for New York because that was the one cat that was making it be a hip hop
Yeah.
thing when it came to NY. And
Yeah.
it's like NY kind of turned their back on hip hop outside of, like I said, the top end cats. And that was what Read My Souls was talking about when he's up there. He's like, I'm from there. He's like, and it's not coming out the city right now. And that's unfortunate. And that's what makes me angry. Because yeah, we'll get our underground stuff from the late greats, you know, from the old greats and like that. But the new cats is up there hopping on whatever, man. You have to talk about New York drill and all like that. Nah, man, get back and bring that sound. So if that's what you're doing, Joey, appreciate it and keep rolling. But if that's not what you're doing, this is not a good look, man.
Yeah, because I mean, if you do look at it as far as the MCs and sound from New York, as far as the OGs, our era, right now, those are the ones that somebody put a battery in their back because they still doing it. They
Man,
still
shout out to
packing
Red
shows
Man.
in arenas. Oh my God, that fucking Muddy Waters 2 is nuts and
Stupid.
bolts, my nigga. Nuts
It is
and bolts.
stupid.
That'll tune you up for real. For real.
That is stupid,
I
man.
love how he just stuck to the original plan with that stuff and made it actually sound like a continuation of the first Muddy Waters, just improved. And you really can't improve too much on Muddy Waters. So the fact that that shit was worth the wait, for sure.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yo, it did not disappoint.
by the way, also, I know this ain't NY, but shout out to Mac Homie for making one of the albums that made my last year too. Mac Homie coming out of Jersey. That's like the only Jersey feature that I wish would have made that Muddy Waters.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because it was Jerseyed out, it was New Yorked out, it was fire all around. But that's the only Jersey feature that I wish would have hit that Muddy Waters, is if he would have been able to get in touch with Mac Homie.
For
That would have been
sure.
crazy. But yeah, anything else you want to go on about this one here? Is just like, Joey, dog, think it out better and take this energy, take this ass whooping you done got. I think you need to go ahead and let this end of it go, but take that energy and bring us a dope project. Conductor makes dope beats, also not from New York.
Now here's
He
another
makes dope
question.
beats.
Here's a question to ask about that though too. When he's talking about the ruler's back, in what aspect are we talking? Are we talking because it's Joey Badass? Are we talking about in music, or are we talking about in acting? I mean, he's doing his thing in both, definitely. I mean, but more so now in the acting role than in the music role. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what are we talking about here? And I mean, shoot, that could be a set way for him to come out with something dope, both musically and visually.
What I was saying is, was saying the ruler's back. You telling cats in your own area they need to measure up. I'll give them that one. I give them a double entendre right there. The ruler's back, so measure up, y'all, and take that energy and start putting out a body of work. But
Mm-hmm.
you jumped out the window without, you jumped out the plane without a chute on this one, dog. And I'm hoping your instructor jumped out behind you to catch you. But
I hope not,
this was
because
ugly.
if not, you took some strays before that crash landing.
Woo! It's wild.
Very
Well,
much so.
this has been another Handsome Beatdown. We definitely appreciate everybody checking us. We
Most
definitely appreciate
definitely.
the whole Schwable room. Make
Indeed.
sure you check out everything we got going for y'all. Thank y'all to all the new subs. Thank you to everybody else out the Schwable room family. Want to
Word
say
up.
shout out and peace. Yo, peace to Ill with These. Hey,
Yes.
prayers up to you, brother. Hopefully you're doing better, and hopefully you get to check us out.
Yes,
And
sir.
yo, just love all y'all. Make sure you check the merch. T Public / the Beatdown. T Public /
Handsome Mandela.
yeah. Check for all the Schwable Room merch plus Mo. We got stuff going on for y'all there, and we gonna still looking to do the unified site to make sure y'all don't miss a bit of it. And
Word up.
we'll be back to y'all.
Indeed, indeed. Peace.
Peace.